Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. Devin Haney and Sandor Martin are due to fight. Martin is the mandatory for Haney's WBC super lightweight title. And in fact, this went to purse bids, and the only organisation that bid any money was Top Rank. They bid 2.42 million. And when you consider the split, it's 1.5 million goes to Haney. I think some is kept back for the winner of the fight, and then the rest goes to the challenger. But Haney's not very happy with this because Matchroom, he said on Twitter or X or whatever the hell it's called, he said, "Wow, Matchroom, nasty work." And this is a bit of a mystery to me because Devin Haney is not contracted to Matchroom. He's worked with them in the past, there's no doubt about that. But if you remember going back to his lightweight days, in fact, Haney had worked with Matchroom for several fights. And then when it became apparent that he'd have to go to Australia to fight George Kambosos, he immediately jumped ship to Top Rank, had the two fights with Kambosos. And in his last fight with Ryan Garcia, in which he was essentially just smashed up, regardless of the failed drug test and the, coming in overweight, Garcia coming in overweight, he was beaten up, floored 3 times. That was promoted by Golden Boy. So why is Haney casting shade on Matchroom? Matchroom's not his promoter. In actual fact, he's made it very clear that he'll only work with people on a fight-by-fight basis. And he didn't show any loyalty to Matchroom back in his lightweight days when he immediately jumped on board with Top Rank to get the Kambosos fight. Now, I'm not saying that he needs to show loyalty to any promoter. I wouldn't trust any promoter. Eddie Hearn he has that sort of patter, that Essex boy patter. Kind of pretends that his fighters are his friends. I wouldn't trust Eddie Hearn as far as I could throw him. He may be a very endearing, personable guy, good guy to have a drink with or whatever, but no, business is business. So I don't see why Haney should be loyal to Matchroom. But on the other hand, I don't see why Matchroom should be loyal to Haney. This is not a particularly, on paper anyway, a particularly attractive fight. You've got Haney, who's kind of looking like damaged goods, regardless of the circumstances around the Garcia fight. He's looking like damaged goods. And in case you don't know who Sandor Martin is, he is a Spanish fighter. He's 30 years old. He's got 42 wins with 15 KOs, so he's not a banger. He's got 3 defeats, all on points, the last of which was in 2022 when he lost a split decision to Teofimo Lopez, and I thought he won that fight. In fact, it was very poor judging in my view. Split decision, no. I thought Martin deserved that decision, definitely, as did a lot of other people. He's since won 2 fights in Italy against, come down a few levels back to European level. 2 stoppages, 2 rare stoppages, 6-round KO against a guy called Arblin Kaba, and then a 3-round KO against a guy called Makuchi. I don't know who these people are. Prior to the Lopez fight, he had a 10-round decision win over Jose Felix. But prior to that, he had a majority 10-round decision, which should have been a unanimous one again. And that was against Mikey Garcia. Now, that was his biggest win, definitely. He's also an EBU champ who's made several defences, but he's not an exciting fighter. He's a southpaw, very defensive-minded, counter-punches well. I mean, he does everything well. He's a hard man to beat, don't get me wrong. But in terms of entertainment, sticking him in with Devin Haney, who, apart from the Garcia fight, which was memorable, Haney's not exactly a massively entertaining fighter. In fact, if you look at his pay-per-view figures for his fight with Regis Prograis, I think they did about 60,000, which is not much at all. I mean, it was considered a flop. Haney, very, very technical, very, very skillful, but not exciting. Sandor Martin, pretty much the same. I don't see this as being a big sell. And if they're thinking of putting this on pay-per-view, they are going to flop badly. So when you consider Top Rank's purse bid, 2.42 million, it's actually not that bad. I don't really know what Haney's complaining about. But the idea that he is complaining about Matchroom, I don't get that. I don't understand that. Matchroom don't owe you anything, and you don't owe Matchroom anything, as you've proven in the past. I mean, when you consider that Haney reportedly in his last 2 contests, he's earned about $15 million, gross amount. So yes, this is a come down. But when you consider that this is, if he wants to keep this belt, you've got to fight your mandatories. And to be honest with you, Martin does deserve a shot. Sometimes you've got to take a pay cut. So now his alternative is to give up the belt, and in fact he can install himself as a challenger for the WBC welterweight title. The WBC have a rule where you can do that if you hold a belt at a lower weight, you can put yourself, into the mix at the higher weight. He may choose to do that. He may choose to give up the 140 belt, because he was talking about wanting to move up to 147 anyway. So you might look at this drop in money and think, no, I'm not into that. That's not enough. And it's, even if I win, it's not going to do me any favors in terms of legacy or in terms of my profile. To be honest, after the Garcia defeat, which may be changed to a no contest, I mean, that wouldn't surprise me at all. He's going to need something like a statement, certainly if not in this next fight, then certainly in the next one. And that might mean a jump to 147. So what's he going to do? Is he going to make this defense? Is he going to throw the belt away? I don't know. It remains to be seen, but it will be fascinating to see how much of an effect mentally and physically that battering by Garcia did to Haney. Because you normally don't step away from a fight like that, from a beating like that, with no lasting effects. And I know he's only a young man, Haney, but was he still mid-20s? I mean, that type of beating normally takes a few years off your career, and it can leave you wrecked. I mean, one thinks about, just off the top of my head, Davey Moore getting smashed to bits by Roberto Duran. I mean, there are other examples, trying to think offhand. Some fighters, they do peak early. Wilfred Benitez did, won world titles at 3 weights, and then by the time he was about 26, 27, it was all over. So yeah, Jeff Lacey, of course, getting battered by Joe Calzaghe, was never the same after that. It does happen, and even though I think Haney's only 25, I'm curious to see how much that Garcia fight took out of him. But make no mistake about it, he can whine about Matchroom not bidding. So what? They're not obliged to bid, not if they think it's a dud fight. And the ball's in his court. Him and his dad, Bill Haney. I mean, they're not very popular in boxing for whatever reason. But I think if I had to guess, and this of course is only a guess, I'd say he'll move up to 147 and bin the belt. But we'll see. We'll see. So leave your comments below. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think about the Sandor Martin fight? I mean, it's a hard sell, isn't it? But maybe you like the fight. Maybe you're a fan of technical boxing. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching the video. If you like the video, please hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you could do that, that would be a big help. Spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing, because it's your channel as much as mine. If you didn't watch, I'd just be talking to myself, wouldn't I? All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, and I will get you later. Bye for now.